Okay, guys, this is the fourth installment of our look at the Tri-Town Preserve here in North Stonington, Griswold, and Preston. Tri-Town, Avalonia. Great spot, awesome place. We're going to be working our way over, hopefully we can time this up right, to some good examples of some human-environment interaction. There's a few things I hope to get to today. The timing is always the issue. If I were better at editing videos, I would, if I knew what I was doing, I would maybe create a bunch of videos and splice it all together and be sophisticated with it, but that's just not who I am. So maybe some of you are, though. Maybe some of you would have some thoughts on that. But here's some great example of some rock walls, and there's a few different types of rock walls we're going to see today. Aesthetic walls, serpentine walls, more connected to Native Americans, and the colonial farmer type wall. But these are pretty sweet here. I think it would be good for us to look at these on LiDAR. I don't know if you can see that up there, but they just kind of continue up the hill. Pretty large. I mean, these walls are stacked up pretty tall. Pretty cool. Pretty impressive. And built into the curvature of the hill. Pretty cool, man. I mean, I don't know. I'm all about doing some manual work, and I'll tell you that's some work right there to do something like that. So here, a little sign about bird nesting during the summertime, about kind of being careful. The bird population comes here for, to nest and, bring about that next line. And it's important that we respect that. As I've said to you guys before, the bird population is a great example of the health of both the species, the bird, but also it's a great example of just the overall health of the forest. So here, some serpentine type walls here built. These are different than a lot of the walls we see, like the walls behind the high school. These have like an aesthetic to them, a look, being built right on the side here. It's pretty cool. And if we look at these on LiDAR, we will see that they're not necessarily laid out in a grid. When we see like the colonial farmer, that type of farming where they're laying out parcels of land for different crops and they're clearing rocks from their fields. There's like a rigidity to it, like 90-degree angles, straight lines. It's kind of like if I were building a fence in my yard, I wouldn't do it in a serpentine, kind of like with a wave to it, unless I was trying to do it to give it an aesthetic, like a look. Most likely I would do a straight line. And that's how fencing is made. I mean, it's made to be built in straight lines. So that's sort of like embedded in the DNA sort of. Whereas when we see the native example of stone wall building, there's more to it. There's a serpentine, there's curvature, there's a look, and it's pretty interesting. And these are really good examples of those right here. All right, so coming up on a intersection in a map. See if I can't remember. See if we can locate our position here at the Avalonia Preserve. A lot of times they do a really good job of saying, like, you are here, you are at this location. I can't remember if this one does that. Okay, so I don't believe we have that here. No. Okay, so we can figure it out though. We can kind of get a feel for where we're at by looking at this. All right, so in the previous video, I took you through the cairns, right? We went, kind of worked our way around to that. Today, now we're in this area right here, Oak Alley, big stand of oak trees. We'll work our way around, and you can see where there are different collections of cairns, okay? And ultimately what we want to get to, what we're going to work our way towards, is getting down to our foundation, okay? So, you know, ultimate example of some human-environment interaction. But there's one other part on here I wanted to see, and now I'm not seeing it on the map. I don't know, I'm not seeing it. Well, here you go. You can see sort of these are topography lines, which show us like changes in elevation. The closer the lines are together, the steeper things get. So you can see where we're at right now, not all that steep. It's kind of, the lines are spread out. You see the curvature of the land. You know, those are pretty sweet. You know, it's pretty sweet if you're looking at a map and doing an evaluation. Whereas we have our walls, you can see here, which shows us where our rock walls are. And we have our straight colonial style rock walls. And we have our curvature serpentine rock walls. All right, so that's something for us to keep in mind as we're evaluating things, if we're looking at different areas. Some of the other videos that I've made for conservation and preservation, we get into some farm, like the Perry Preserve over on North Anguilla. You know, it has a lot of rock walls and foundations and a lot of human environment interaction. Whereas here, you know, it's kind of a mix of everything. We have change in elevation, we have rock walls, we have foundations, we have just what would have been farmland, and we have areas that probably has been relatively undisturbed or not disturbed all that much due to the elevation changes. So it's another thing for us to think about. Rather than make this a long video, I'm going to keep this one short, our 4th video, and I'm going to start our next video working over towards some of our other cairns and examples of human environment interaction. So I'll talk to you guys.